Hello everyone. In this session we will be creating a form handler class, and basically that class is not required as the code directly can be added to the form level, but as long as you are going to, for example, more adding more and more code on form, basically that becomes a complex thing to even understand and in order to maintain or even reuse it later on, because it is tightly coupled with the form. So it's better to create a form handler class so that class can also be reused and is easy to maintain it. So basically also the code placed on the form level is very harder to use, not only use but also to understand it. For this reason we need to create a form handler class which will be basically handling the user interface logic on, for example, order entry forms or order entry style forms. And the form usually these forms are basically used uh, to make order creation easy and more fantastic. So form handler classes basically have two main functions. One in terms of visibility of controls, or for example allowing the edits or adjusting the labels. And similarly there is one more function which is basically to act as a way or method to communicate between basically to create form, which is normally a dialog box, and the main entry form. So that is also the handler class, form handler class basically acts between the create form and the main entry form. So so purpose of our form handler class will be order to control basically whether the data can be edited on the booking order table form when based upon the booking order status. So we will not be placing any business logic on this class, rather only as I mentioned, the visibility or can be edited certain in certain state. The form can be edited or not edited, so that will be handled in that one. So what we can do is in the previous class which we have created, booking order table type class, we need to add two methods there for can edit status and similarly check can edit status. And that for that purpose we'll just open our previous class. Just go ahead to the okay, so this is our class, and we'll open the booking table type class here. And we can go to same like this check can edit and can edit. So we'll just create the method public boolean, return type will be boolean, can edit status. Okay, so now what we can do is basically declare this enum pkr resort booking status, and this will be local booking status, for example, and assign to it the booking table which is globally declared here. And then booking status will be the field name, what the value we need to be initialized here. And then also what we can do is just put if condition that if booking table dot orange, which is the original record dot rec id, when it is greater than 0 means it contains some record, and this is for first time checking, because first time it will not it will be blank. So once it is there and somebody is changing basically the table, so we need to declare here, just copy this resort booking table. Okay, and that will contain orange booking table, and to basically booking table orange, that record will be the initial or original record will be copied to this buffer, and then local booking status will contain the booking status from this initial record. When the original if it is changing the second time, not first time. If it is first time, it will not come under this condition. So now what we can do is we can base we can put a switch case statement, and we'll check this local booking status against the case when this booking status is either none or I will place here when it is confirmed. Okay, then it will return true value. Can edit status means it will return a true value or it will return a false value if it does not come under this switch statement, and one of the condition is not is true, then only true will be returned. So it means that can edit status will be true, otherwise it will be false. So imagine when there is no rack id, means it is 0, so it will not come under this, and since it will not come under this, so it will not also contain the value in local booking status, and it will not go under this condition, so always it will return the false. But if it coming under this, so the status will either contain none or confirmed, and then it will be returned true. Okay, now what we can do is we can write another method which will be making use of this method which we have just written. Check and edit status. This can edit status. Check failed, and we need to also return one message which I will just type is a placeholder, and booking table, booking ID, and booking table and booking status, and otherwise it will return true. Here return check failed means it will return false and with a message, and then it will be false. Otherwise, if it does not come under this, it will return true. And the message which I need to be put here is the booking order cannot be edited. Okay, let's check our label file. So basically these two methods are similar to can edit and check can edit method we have already written, and basically these are enough, the name are enough to convey the message what these methods are doing. So basically we are making it more user friendly to handle the form with our code to make it more user friendly. So we just need to create a label for this. The booking order cannot be edited. So just place. So basically, I can you make use of this label as well, because the method implementation will need to change it. Okay, and this I will place here. And now after doing this, we can change basically our this check can edit and can edit method, and how that will follow basically. So in the so is valid will be true by default instead of false, and then what we can do is just remove this which we have already implemented, and then is valid will be ended with this can edit status. So this will be internally called, which we have just wrote to make use of can edit status basically, and then this is more logical uh, as per the naming convention. So that's why we have make it, and also we have made it more clearer, and then check and edit also can follow the same pattern. So what I can do is just copy this body, okay, and place here, but just call that method check can edit status. Okay, this one, and okay, it is giving me an error, and what is error? Check failed will follow with strfmt. Okay, in the strfmt, and now it should be okay. There are two brackets and two brackets closing. In this way we have refactored our code. Once we have wrote these two methods, then what we can do is write our form handler class and just create a new item and of type class in the code node, and just give it a name like PKR resort booking order table form. Just check this resort booking table booking resort booking table form. Okay, so this class is put here. You can just put it in the class folder. Just open it once again and just override the new constructor, the built-in constructor, and make it like protected, so that the class can't be constructed incorrectly, and we will make this accessibility or access modifier from public to protected or private. And then what we can do is just declare the global variable for the form element instance, that will be form run. This form run, just give it a name like form run, and then form data source. Make a good indentation so that the code is quite readable. And the data source, let me check that data source. Just open the booking table form and check. This is resort booking table data source pkr underscore resort pkr underscore resort booking table underscore ds. So that will be the data source. I'm keeping the same name so that it is easy for me to get better understanding. And now we'll construct our class from the form run instance. And to save the writing, in order to avoid writing code in constructor, the init from form run method is good enough to make use of that one. And okay, so what we can do is just create that method with the access modifier protected and void init from form run, and the form run object will be passed. For parameter, just give it as underscore, name starting with underscore, and then we can assign to the global variable the past value. Okay, and then we can assign to this variable of data source the form from the form run object, and data helper find data source method will be called. And we can then give the string value from data source str. Okay, and in that one we need to pass our table pkr resort booking table, and the form name. In this way, it will return the data source from the form run object. Basically, data helper function basically here is provided so that we can easily gain access to forms data source. And form data source str is a compile time function that ensures that data source name actually exists on the form, and it will not compile if it does not exist. So now what we can do is write our public constructor just after our built-in constructor, and in the same way public static pkr our class name. Just put this class name here, and new from form run, and just element. You can also put here the same form run. Okay, now what we can do is, first of all, we will just declare our form class. Okay, and just put it a name like form and just return this form. And now just save it, so the error is gone. And now initialize the form class instance, basically new, and okay, in this way it is initialized, and then form init from form run, and just pass our past variable form run, and this will pass to this method, and the instance will be passed, and in this way the data source will be set here in the global variable. Now we need to okay, there is an error. Okay, it is saying this name was actually, there was a problem. Just put the correct name. Now we need to complete this initial part of the form handler. We need to write a method that will basically make the data source editable or not editable based on the return value of the current booking orders can edit method. So to get the current record, we basically will use the cursor method of form data source. So for that we just need to implement a method after our all these methods. Just create a public void means no return type, and okay, make it like booking table active. Okay, this will be the current booking. Okay, and current booking, and now the data source which we have already populated, we need to call the cursor method, which will return currently selected record. Okay, now there will be a boolean variable allow edit, which need to be set. Okay, so the current booking buffer, and then call the type type method, and then in the type method we can call our can edit method here. Okay, and then using our this data source, we can allow delete based upon allow edit value. Similarly, allow edit will also be based upon this boolean variable. If it is false, so allow delete and allow edit will also be false. If it is true, so both of the values will be true and data source will be editable or deletable. The current record will be deletable. Now we need to also club this logic to the form level. So we need to open the booking table form. Okay, so this is our form. Okay, then we can double click our class declaration. Okay, so it will open the code editor now, and so what we can do is in class declaration, basically, if we can see here, so after the opening brace of this class and above the methods, we can type our class name, which was pkr resort booking table form. Okay, and just name it like form handler. Okay, and now what we can do is we can override our form init method. Okay, so this is our form init method. Just remove the documentation for now, and we need to instantiate the form handler instance. So for that we need to do this after super call. We can just place this class instance name and call the constructor. Okay, and in this one, new from form, and here the form instance is passed, and this will basically instantiate our form handler class. Now next what we can do is we need to also override our just save this change and go back to the form, and in the form resort booking table, just override here the active method. Okay, so the active method is now here, and first of all change this ret to is valid to make it more sensible. Okay, so then after this super call, we can make use of form handler, and then we can call here booking table active method. From the form handler instance, we are calling now booking table active method, which we have already implemented, and So that's it, and I will just save and build the code. So that if there are any errors, so that will appear. So that's it for now, and we'll continue to our number sequence session in the next video. So far we have implemented the form handler class, and before that table handler class, which is handling the events on the table level, and this one is handling the user interface, whether it is editable or not editable, and the data source is also taken care by the active by writing the active by overriding the active method and implementing that method in our form handler class. In this way we have covered this example, and in the next session we'll be focusing on the number sequence. Thank you very much guys, take care, bye.